Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. This is one that I was really excited about. It's the brand new release from Alice Cooper called Road. I have been a fan of Alice Cooper since, I was a little bit late to the game, so it was like mid to late 80s, when Constrictor and Raise Your Fist and Yell and all that stuff was coming out. And I was like, kind of late to the game when it came to that. I mean, I was familiar with his stuff. I'd heard, all the big hits, but I think I had Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. And I remember I didn't really care for that one too much, so I never got much of his old stuff. And then, just hanging around people who were listening to Alice Cooper, and I got into that. That style of music was like really big at that point in time. He was going for like the the hair metal type sound back then, and so I was a little bit late to the game. Actually, I remember skipping one of my college classes and drove out to all the way up to Buffalo, New York, and got scalped some tickets and got 8th row. Got to see Fraley's Comet open up for him. That was my first incarnation to Alice Cooper live was that, so that was pretty cool. So it's funny that my really first introduction to him was a live show, and then this album's called Road. And the reason it's called Road mainly is because it's based on his road band being the ones recording it. A lot of the themes for the songs on this album are about being on the road. And the idea was he had never had his band record, his live band had never recorded an album with him, which is, kind of strange for most artists, that have a full band like this. He's had the same band for quite a few years. He's always gone through a lot of different members and stuff, and it's been fairly consistent. They actually had Kane Roberts joined a little bit while Nita took a break and went out and toured with Demi and all that. But I guess all of last year they were writing a bunch of stuff, and they went in and recorded this live. He said he didn't want any overdubs. I don't really know if they did any overdubs or not. If they didn't do any overdubs, they did a really good job of not letting it show. But anyway, I'm just going to get into this. There's a lot of co-writes on this, but Alice is involved in most of them, and they got Bob Ezrin producing it again. And they co-wrote most everything on here, except for a couple things here. There's a couple that Ezrin didn't help on, and then there's a lot of additional people. I'm not going to go through every single one, but it's mainly those two with a few people extra helping in here and there. Like Key Marcello's actually on here. They got Nita's actually helped write one, and they have Tom Morello, and they have who else? Am I thinking? Kane Roberts. Did I mention him? Anyway, they got a few extra people in there. So put this in. I wasn't really sure what to expect. Honestly, I didn't have any idea really what to expect. Put it in instantly, the very first note, I'm like, this is Alice. And it's funny because that song is called I'm Alice. I guess you released 3 of these as singles before. I didn't listen to any of them. I went in fresh, didn't hear anything ahead of time. And as soon as that song kicked in, I'm like, this is Alice Cooper. This is old Alice Cooper. This is pre-Constrictor, before I got into it, Alice Cooper, because I have gone back and I've really gotten into Alice Cooper over the since then. And in fact, me and the guitarist in the band I'm in now were listening to what the heck was it? I think it was Zipper Catches Skin was one of the ones we were going through. But I just got done watching a documentary on him here, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, and just the first few years of the Alice Cooper band, and before he went solo. And so I've really got to know the early sound of Alice Cooper over the years, not just the Constrictor on. But anyway, this definitely has that feel, the sound throughout the whole album. It's very consistent through the whole thing. Welcome to the Show, the next song has that road theme. I'm probably not going to go through every song here, but a few of the highlights that I liked were Dead Don't Dance had a really cool, I think Kane guessed it on that one, it looks like. And Go Away was funny. That's this tongue-in-cheek lyrics going on, as always, through the stuff. And White Line Frankenstein was cool. It's got Tom Morello on that one. The riff to that one was super cool. Seems like anytime he has a song with Frankenstein mentioned in it, it's a cool song. Anyway, Big Boots is kind of a, once again, tongue-in-cheek. I mean, Alice is like the king of tongue-in-cheek lyrics. That song is definitely not about boots, but there's, then they got Rules of the Road, another road-themed one. The Big Goodbye was actually another really cool highlight. That one really rocked. It was great. The only one that didn't have a Ezrin co-write was Road Rats Forever, which is also really cool rockin' song. The slowest one on here is called Baby Please Don't Go, and of course, just going by the title, I thought it was going to be that old song, Baby Please Don't Go, whatever it is. But it's not that at all. It's actually almost a ballad. It's kind of slow, and but it's not too slow, but it's got a ballady type feel to it, and just cool the song. There's not a clunker on this, not a clunker on here. I'm sorry I'm going through this kind of quick, but I definitely was digging this. I was excited. This is a good album. And it kind of closes with a couple songs, also road themed. 100 More Miles just was a cool way to end like the theme of the rest of the songs, but they throw in Magic Bus at the very end of it. The old Who song, but it doesn't sound anything like Magic Bus. In fact, it sounds like Voodoo Child. If you ask me, the main riff is definitely Voodoo Child. And yes, it's Voodoo Child, not Voodoo Child. I know I'm going to get some comments about that, but it's Voodoo Child. I'm standing my ground on that one. They throw a drum solo in at the end, and then it kind of almost builds back in, and there's a bunch of crowd cheering, and that's kind of how the album ends. And then I can't wait to pop this back in and listen to it again, because every single song on here was rocking. It had that band sound. I haven't actually been this excited for an Alice Cooper album after listening to it. I can't even remember when. I mean, since I was getting back in Alice Cooper back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I was going back and getting the earlier stuff and kind of like finding the old albums for the first time. I kind of feel like that's what this is. I'm finding one of their old albums for the first time. And I think this is actually the first one that Nita Strauss actually has recorded anything on with him. Could be mistaken, but I think it's the first thing she's ever done, so it's definitely cool to hear her. His band kicks butt. I guess I should mention the other guys in the band. We got Tommy Hendrickson on guitar, Chuck Garrick on bass, Glenn Sobel on drums, and am I forgetting anybody? I'm going through the credits here, but anyway, it's just, I can't say enough about this. I think I got everybody there. Glenn Sobel and History. Yeah, okay, I read them all. And I've seen their live concerts of this band, and I've always thought that they were super tight. They made the old songs sound like cohesive throughout the whole concert, and made them sound like even fresh, even though they're older songs. This is like taking like an old sound and making it fresh with new songs. So if that makes any sense, there is actually a bonus if you get the dual disc, which I didn't get, of them live at Hellfest, which I kind of wish I'd gotten that at this point, but I didn't. So anyway, I can't say enough good about this one. I'm probably forgetting to say a bunch of stuff that I wanted to, but I just wanted to get this one out there and let you guys know you got to go out and get this album if you're an Alice Cooper fan. This is definitely worth checking out. There's been a few in the past that I've gotten, and you get excited about it, and you're like, it's okay. This one, I was kind of like not knowing what to expect at all, and I was like, holy crap, that was cool. That was a cool album. So, can't say enough good about this one. He's still got it, 75 years old, still kicking butt. His band's kicking butt. This album kicks butt. So, feel free to leave your comments in the, comments below, and like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff like I always say. And until the next time, I will see you.